Hey, Roxas. Bet you don't know why the sun sets red. You see, light is made up of lots of colors, and out of all those colors, red is the one that travels the farthest.
Like I asked, know-it-all.
Axel, Roxas, and Xion are the three characters in all of Kingdom Hearts that cause the most internal conflict for me. On one hand, I do like the characters and enjoy their story, but I find it hard for me to like the direction the characters seem to be heading in for Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's start off with the character we've seen the most up until this point, Axel. Axel's first debut in the series was in Chain of Memories, and since then has made some sort of appearance in every game after. He is a fan favorite character, and with Dream Drop Distance, we know he's going to be an important character in the future. By the way, I'm probably going to spoil everything, so if you haven't finished a game, then be warned. He's got a Keyblade. Personally, I'm not a fan of this decision, but we'll come back to that. Instead, I want to talk about Axel's relationship with Saïx and Roxas. Before joining the organization and becoming nobodies, Aiza and Lee were friends. At the time, I'd wager that they were best friends. While we don't get to see much of this friendship in its prime, what we do see of it implies that at one point the two were very important to each other. We first see these two during Ventus's trip to Radiant Garden on their way to the castle. Here we see Aiza and Lee joking with each other and sharing a laugh, which closely resembles Axel's relationship with Roxas. We even see the two having what looks to be sea salt ice cream together during the credits of Birth by Sleep. However, the friendship between Aiza and Lee changed after the two became nobodies and joined the organization. Saïx would later become a vessel filled with Xehanort's heart as his friendship with Axel dissolves. The death of their friendship comes with the birth of a new friendship. At first, Axel wonders if he has been chosen to babysit Roxas, but soon a deep bond develops between the two of them. There is an established tradition between the two, soon to be three friends. After finishing a mission, they meet for ice cream before returning to the castle. Over the course of 358, we return to the tower many times as we watch the relationship between Roxas and Axel grow. Soon we even see Roxas inviting Xion up to the tower, and the three become close friends. But the story of the Days trio is not a happy one, as the fate of Roxas and Xion means that Axel must lose yet another friendship. And rather than sitting idly watching his friends leave, Axel makes an attempt at keeping the trio together, but ultimately cannot stop them from returning to Sora, even with some powerful words.
What's your problem? You both think you can do whatever you want. Well, I'm sick of it. Go on, you just keep running. But I'll always be there to bring you back!
After losing Roxas and Xion to Sora, Axel continues to work for the organization and eventually has many run-ins with Sora and his friends. Throughout the course of Kingdom Hearts 2, we see Axel slowly stray from the organization, and in the end he chooses to help his friend's other half in his journey. Here, we see the last of the nobody Axel, as he sacrifices himself to help Sora. In Dream Drop Distance, it's revealed that if a person's heartless and nobody is destroyed, then that person will eventually become whole again. Lee returns, and once again seeks to help Sora and his friends, leading to Lee getting his own Keyblade. In my opinion, Lee was way cooler with his chakrams, and him receiving a Keyblade seems like it's fan favoritism going too far. In the Kingdom Hearts universe, Lee has been using the chakrams for 11 years. Multiple entries in the franchise demonstrate his great skill with these weapons, and the sudden change to a Keyblade baffles me. Remember, Lee has been in every game since Chain of Memories, and to make an important change like this, well, it just doesn't make much sense. Keyblades are weapons of great importance in the Kingdom Hearts universe, and the handling of Lee acquiring his Keyblade really disappoints me. Not that I don't think Lee isn't worthy of having a Keyblade, quite the opposite. I think he has everything needed to be a Keyblade bearer. But there are absolutely no info given on how he acquired it. Honestly, I would have liked it if he just kept his chakrams. But I know there is more than likely a story element we have yet to see regarding Lee and his Keyblade, so I will just have to wait and see. Now from sad story to sad story, we will look at Roxas and his struggle with non-existence. First debuting as a JPEG at the end of Chain of Memories, Roxas is the nobody of Sora who has the appearance of Ventus, but has memories from neither Sora or Ventus. Roxas goes throughout most of Days thinking that he is his own person, although he cannot remember anything before joining the organization, including his prior life as Sora, though he often dreams and sees images of a boy in red. Most of Days is spent building a powerful relationship with Xion and Axel, only to make you cry when Roxas has to destroy Xion in order to restore Sora, and in the process, erasing all memories of Xion. Xion's sacrifice is a pretty emotional moment in the series and only made more impactful that none of the characters knew her sacrifice. On day 358, after Roxas had turned his back on the organization, he has a run-in with Riku, resulting in the opening scenario of Kingdom Hearts 2. Here Roxas will once again question his sense of self as the world he once knew crumbles around him, revealing the truth. Throughout Days in the first 7 days of Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas is plagued with dreams of memories that don't belong to him. Eventually his strive for answers leads him face to face with his other, Sora. This is the end of his summer vacation. Roxas rejoins with Sora, but was not completely lost. In the year that Roxas had existed, he was able to develop a heart of his own, which now rests within Sora. We see examples of Roxas' heart reacting from within Sora many times throughout the series. The most important is its reaction when leaving Twilight Town and meeting Xion in Dream Drop Distance. The ending segments of Recoded and Dream Drop Distance seem to hint at the return of Roxas and Xion, as well as the trio from Birth by Sleep. However, Roxas and Xion present a problem. One was a nobody of Sora, whilst the other was a puppet made from Sora. Neither of them had a body to return to. Unlike Ventus, whose body is in Castle Oblivion, setting free the hearts of Roxas and Xion, assuming she was able to grow one too, unless Xion purely exists as a manifestation of memories locked within Roxas' heart, which is a situation I would be more happy with. However, bringing back Roxas along with Ventus, well, you can literally see the problem. Roxas is a character that seems to never have anything go his way, and is left constantly looking for answers about his true identity. I do want to see him get a proper ending, but I'm not sure if I want to see him physically come back. However, I am sure that I do not want to see Xion physically come back. There isn't as much to talk about when it comes to Xion. She is a puppet that may have developed its own heart, and as a result is causing hurt within Sora. Xion regularly dreams of the ocean, and the sound of waves are familiar to her, leading to her fascination with seashells as she can hear the ocean within them. She is unaware of being a puppet for a majority of Days, but when she discovers the truth, she willingly accepts her fate and provokes Roxas into destroying her, unleashing the memories that she had stored within her. In my opinion, Xion's importance is in her sacrifice, so the thought of her coming back doesn't bode well with me. I see it as diminishing the emotional impact of Xion's death, and it really takes away more than it would add if she were to physically come back. As mentioned before, I'm not opposed to having a proper send-off for this character. Another problem I have with the possibility of Xion coming back is the fact that she was a replica puppet that may have grown a heart, meaning if the replica program had continued, that they could potentially just create living beings, which is a thought that bothers me. I do like Xion. I like all the Days trio, but I'm a bit uneasy as what we're going to see next for them. Dark Rescue is a character we see lose 2 close friends before heroically sacrificing his life for someone who makes him feel the same way Roxas did. Lee deserves his fan favoritism, but I want to have a much better explanation as to his decision to want to wield the Keyblade, as well as how he acquired it, and I do think we will get that explanation, but until then I'm willing to admit I'm a bit salty over the loss of his chakrams. Not Sora is a character we see lose everything he knows not once but twice. However, the memories he had lost and the bonds he still made reside inside Sora. Roxas is a character that childhood me never expected to see again after Kingdom Hearts 2, and luckily I was wrong as I enjoyed experiencing his full story, but the possibility of both him and Ventus being in the same place is kind of a problem for me. Lastly, Xion is a character I talk about the least because we see her the least. I have absolutely no idea what they plan to do with her. I'm not going to lie, if she didn't have any sort of roles past Days, I would have been fine with that, but we know that's not going to happen. Essentially, I'm afraid that if not done correctly, bringing her back would take away from her character. The story of the Days trio is an emotional one, and one truly loved by the fans, which is why I'm being protective of it. I just don't want to see these characters ruined. And I have faith that they won't, but that doesn't stop me from worrying about the future of these characters. At the end of the day, I'm not the one making these games, so I'll just have to sit and wait and see.